Hope you all are okay. Today we are discussing about kinds of communication. Broadly speaking, there are two types of communication: verbal communication and non-verbal communication. Verbal communication is one in which we use words. These words can be used orally or in the written form. And non-verbal communication is the communication in which we don't use words. It could be through your facial expression, your body gestures, your hand movements, sign language, and so on. But first we'll talk about the verbal communication, which involves oral communication and written communication. What is oral communication? When you are communicating through spoken words, when you are uttering sentences, when you are using words, when you are talking to someone face to face, when you are talking to someone on telephone. So there are different forms of communication. The known forms are like formal meetings. You are meeting to someone, you are meeting in pairs, you are meeting in groups, then dealing with your clients, with your students, with your colleagues, interviews, seminars, conferences, teaching someone, or then telephone calls I have already discussed. So what are the different things which make your oral communication successful? First is planning of your communication. You should plan what you have to say. You have to determine the purpose. You have to determine the objectives. If it's a formal communication, for example, you have to appear, present in conference, you have to appear in an interview, you're talking to your colleagues, your teachers, or any in business dealings, so you have to plan something. You should better get some points, jot down some points, get the relevant material, and use the language appropriately. Then is thinking of the receiver. You should know what are the expectations of your receiver, the participants. What are they expecting? You should be clear about their knowledge, their experiences, their education, their status, their gender, all these, and their mental capacity as well. They all matter. If you would not realistically analyze your receiver, you would not be able to explain your point of view successfully. Then, to know the situation, you should know in which particular situation you are talking to them. Either you have to brief them, either you have to explain them, either you have to report something, either you are telling them something, either you are appearing in an interview. Everything should be very, very clear. So if the situation is known to you, it would help you to adopt good strategies. And if you are like talking to your friends, you can be natural. But if you are appearing in an interview, you need to be formal. You have to use good words. You have to be well prepared for your content. You should have to say meaningful too. Then be open-minded. Another important thing about oral communication is to present your ideas in a very, very positive way. Consider other person's point of view. You should not only be focusing on to make others listen to you. You should also give them importance, attention. What are they saying? Try to reach to conclusion. Don't argue. And if in any case you have to argue, give proper space to the receiver so that he can contribute equally, and you should reach to a consensus. There are advantages of oral communication as well. As far as feedback of oral communication is concerned, it's very, very immediate. You come to know, for example, in teaching profession, after every class, we come to know that it was a good class or it was a bad class. So in oral communication, you get immediate feedback, and it's easy for you to convey your message and understand. You come to know that whether you have been successful in delivering your message or not. Then it is according to the situation. If there's demand of the situation, you can talk some different point of view according to the needs, interests, and motivation level of your receiver, then you don't need any material, like you don't need stationery, you don't need any other equipment. You can talk in a natural way, and it is more detailed. If somebody is not clear, they can easily make their point of view or their concept clear at that particular time. Then we have written communication. Written communication. Now we know that in this technological era, written message travels very fast. We communicate through electronic devices, we send texts, we communicate on social media and all that. But some of the forms of written communications are your notices, circulars, notification, advertisements, invitations, press release, newsletters, magazines, reports, memos, and letters. So we have been using all these type of forms of communication. There are also ways of making your writing successful. Know the purpose is another. It's similar to your speaking. And in writing both, you should be very, very clear. What are you saying? What are you making a request? Are you sending a goodwill message? Are you sending some congratulatory comments to someone? So are you inquiring about something? So everything should be very clear to you. Then knowing the receiver, similarly, as we discussed in oral communication, is very important to know that how your receiver, your reader, is expecting. You should know their knowledge, education, background, mental capacity, their status, their gender, and you should be very clear about the target audience. Then is sent correct, brief, concise, well thought message to them. There shouldn't be any bad impression you're writing. It should have syntactically correct message plus grammatically correct message as well. It should have some meaning, but it should physically appear good as well. Physical appearance in writing means there are no grammar, spelling, punctuation, capitalization mistakes. Your writing should be error free. Choose proper channel when you are communicating. So in writing, when you are communicating, you should have a proper channel. You should know that it depends on caste, confidentiality, distance, time, resources, written record, receiver, security. Everything should be well taken care of. You should know that to whom you are sending the message, and if the message is for someone else and it doesn't have confidentiality and it has some private information in it, you should be very careful about that. Then advantages in writing and speaking. There are differences. Writing is well planned. You have opportunity to go back to your writing again and again, edit it according to your needs and understanding. Your messages are long and complex because you plan, you think and rethink and draft it. Then it is low cost, relatively low cost now, because you now use WhatsApp, social apps, and other apps to deliver your message. And then you can send one message to different people at the same time. For example, your WhatsApp status and your Facebook status is the type of communication where you can deliver one message to different people. Then we have non-verbal communication through your appearance, through your posture, your facial expressions, your eye behavior, your touching behavior, your gestures. So all these are really a great source of communicating. So when you're talking to someone, the way you are looking at someone, the way you are standing, not showing any attention, when you are not giving an appropriate gestures to them, your eyes are not properly focused on them. There's no eye contact. You are continuously using your hands, not listening to someone attentively. So all these things, they show that you're not interested. Similarly, if you're interested, you would have a good posture. You would be standing tall on your weight. You would be and keeping your shoulders back. It will show your confidence. Similarly, if you're confident, your facial expressions would be very, very positive. They would be showing zeal, energy. And if on the other hand you are confused, your face would be showing boredom, tiredness, anger, fear, nervousness. Similarly, when you are confident, your gestures, your head, your shoulders, hands and arms, they're all in line with your confidence. If you're not confident, you would be moving unnecessarily, rubbing your hands, playing with your fingers, unnecessarily an excessive movement of your body would also be showing your nervousness. So we can discuss about 7 C's in the next lecture. Hope everything is clear to you.